Hey everybody, welcome back to MaryBird's Backyard Garden. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mary.
And we're happy to have you guys back here with us again to talk a little gardening, and we're going to throw a little extra something in. I will tell you, Mary, last week's podcast was very nice. We had some guests on, and we talked a little bit about how to use some of the garden in food and beverage.
And it was inspiring.
Was very inspiring. I enjoyed it. So we'll get to that. But before I do that, what's new in the garden?
Oh, man, this week I harvested Yukon gold potatoes.
You did. They were awesome.
They were beautiful, weren't they? Oh, man. Well, I noticed that the tops had started to brown back, and that's what I understood is when you should harvest. And I think out of 6 potatoes that I threw in the ground last year that were little bitty potatoes from the grocery store that had started to sprout, and I threw them in last fall. Out of those 6 little potato buds, we got maybe 2 pounds of potatoes. I don't know exactly how much. No,
we did. They were awesome. Now, honestly, they were just
beautiful.
It's kind of it's so fun to see. Like, it's just like buying at the store, the little guy. I mean, they were different sizes, but they were awesome.
They were.
Very nice.
Oh, I am definitely going to try that again, but I'm going to try it for real this time.
Oh, you can purposefully do it.
Purposefully do it.
All right.
And the plants are just gorgeous when they grow, too.
Yeah.
They make an excellent garden border type leafy green. So I'm really looking forward to trying that
Very
again.
nice. Very nice. That's great. Yeah, they were very, very cool to look at when you came
delicious.
in.
And
Yes,
delicious.
yes.
My daughter and I enjoyed them.
You did.
Oh, very much.
You did. and we took a picture. Maybe we'll see if we can get a picture up on the blog
Absolutely.
of them once we get that going. Good. Okay. What else you got?
Oh, Jeffy, the sweetest thing happened today. Our next door neighbor, they grow beautiful okra, and they grow cucumbers, and they grow tomatoes, and they grow loofah. Anyways, they had saved seeds from their okra plants from last year, and they had started those plants, and they gave me 2 okra starts.
Oh, nice.
2 transplants, and said, this is the time of year to start putting them in the ground.
That is cool.
That is so cool, right? And I'm unfamiliar with growing okra, so this is going to be a great learning opportunity.
Good.
So I'm very excited.
Always something new. Got to have something new going on in the garden, right?
Yes. They said as the plant grows, if the leaves kind of get dry or brown on the bottom, to kind of prune those off and pick the okra while they're still kind of small.
Nice.
So, yes.
Whoa,
so
okra.
excited.
Hey, I'm not the biggest vegetable eater in the world, but I'm going to try them. I'll give all this stuff a try. I mean, if we're growing it, let's try it, right?
I made gumbo last fall, perhaps, and you said you liked it.
I did. So I'm all in on this one.
Okay,
Very
good.
cool. Yeah.
Cool. And
what else might you have?
We have planted a few things this past week. I put in the Greg's mist flower, which is a lovely native flower that has a blue bloom on it, and it's very good for pollinators. And also I planted the Turk's cap, which is great for hummingbirds and other pollinators. We put in a lot of different marigolds. One of them is called Lemon Tangerine Twist, I think it's called.
Okay.
And so we have a lot of those seeds sprouting. We put in some seeds as well. And other than that, I think we've been trying to take lots of photos.
We have. There's been a lot of bees.
Oh,
Lots and lots of bees.
what a variety.
Yeah, I know. We've had a lot of bees, a lot of butterflies, the birds are, woof.
Yes.
My goodness, we can't keep the feeders filled. It's like
And the
every day and a half.
robins. We've had big old healthy robins this
Yeah,
year.
we
They
have.
look great.
Which is cool. That's one of the things we wanted to do with the garden. We wanted to attract wildlife. We have a lot of lizards running around.
Yes.
So it's very cool. We can sit on the porch and watch literally all kinds of wildlife back there.
It is hilarious because the lizards, they're pretty substantial. They're probably 6 to 8
They
inches
are.
long.
They're big ones.
And we have 2 Boykin Spaniels. I think we've said that before on the podcast. Anyway, those lizards take off running across the grass, and our Spaniels are in high chase mode, running after them. They can never catch the lizards, but it's so fun. It makes their life so full of joy.
It is. It's a lot of fun. And I don't want to forget the frogs. We got some frogs out there, some big frogs out there in the garden too. So that's always cool.
Yes, we do. And we actually have one container that got a big crack in it. We lost a piece of it. And we turned it upside down to see if we could create
Make it a frog home.
habitat.
Yeah, frog habitat. There you go.
Like that.
There you go. And I bet they're there because it's, I'm just telling you, it's very active in the backyard right now.
It is.
Which is cool.
Yes, that's very cool.
All right.
Well, that's what's new in the garden that I know of.
Okay. I like it. I'll tell you, my peppers are still doing good. And just kind of update everybody on the pepper odyssey. So
Did you get a photo of the one that has turned red?
I am going to get a photo. There's one that's turned red. I'll get a photo of that, and we'll try and put that out on the blog.
It is beautiful.
So I'm keeping an eye on them. They're probably close, I guess. I don't know. They look close.
I think the red one is probably there.
Maybe we'll get that one picked and
see how hot it is.
See how hot it is and cook it up with something. So
sounds delicious.
That'll be fun. But
that would be delicious.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be cool. All right. So I know you did want to talk about something specific today, one of the plants that we have. And what is that?
Well, this is a new plant for us this year. And it is called the Alphonse Carr bamboo. Mm-hmm. And it was a journey to choose this plant, I'll tell you. Jeff and I have a deck on the back of our house that faces due west. And from about maybe 1 o'clock in the summer, 1 in the afternoon to probably sunset.
Late.
It is full on sunlight. And we've thought about a lot of different strategies to provide shade. I don't know. We researched pergolas, and we've researched the awning type systems.
And we have looked at a lot of things,
walls.
and you can do a lot of those things.
Absolutely, but they're kind of permanent once you choose them,
right?
And I think that we've been still debating, and we're not sure if that is that's going to be exactly forever, Mm-hmm. But there's positives and negatives to everything. And so we just need to keep talking about it. But in the interim, we kind of had the idea of using plants to create a privacy and shade screen against the setting sun. And last year, we tried an olive tree in a container. And it was really fun. We watched it leaf out, and it is leafing out again this year. And we kind of, it was fun to be up close and watch it grow and everything. But shade.
No,
we didn't get any shade.
No.
So, I was looking around on the internet and everything, and bamboo is lovely. And we happened to go to Backbone Valley Nursery on one of our spring field trips. I call them field trips anyway, but and they had an assortment of a clumping bamboo called Alphonse Carr bamboo. And the gentleman there talked to us and was very informative, and we chose to get 2 of those plants and bring them home. So why would bamboo be controversial? Probably a lot of people would just go right out and oh, that looks really good. I'm going to plant that in the yard. But bamboo is a sort of a tricky plant. You want to be careful about where you put it. It's in the grass family. bamboo is, the subfamily is called Bambusoideae, and it's in the grass family Poaceae. So if you think about our Bermuda in the yard and our struggles to keep it out of the flower beds every year, that's because it grows on a rhizome. So as it travels along the surface of the ground, or even, under the ground quite a bit, it'll grow from the segments along the way. And bamboo is the same. Bamboo has a rhizome. And there are two varieties. There's a running bamboo and a clumping bamboo. So I definitely want to avoid the running bamboo because it will stretch out and root extensively. And you could get into a lot of trouble if it goes into your neighbor's yard, or if it gets loose in the natural habitat where it might become invasive or something like that. You don't want to do that. But the variety that we chose is a clumping bamboo, and clumping bamboos send out shorter rhizomes, and they are slower to enlarge their space, kind of like our muley grasses, you know. They will, over time, expand their clump, but it'll take a long time to do that. And so also what's really good about this Alphonse Carr bamboo that I'm kind of excited about is we have a beautiful steel container that we bought, 4 years ago?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago.
Something like that. And it's like 2 feet wide by 4 feet long. And it's probably a good 18 inches deep. Anyways, the bamboo can live in that habitat very happily. And so one thing about bamboo is, like if you plant it in plastic, it can actually burst the container.
Wow.
Because they're very strong.
Right.
Very strong. But I do feel like this steel container will help keep it under control. And the reason that we put it's right in front of one part of our deck where we like to sit out under the umbrella. And in the wild, this particular variety can get like 55 feet tall or so. But in the container setting, it might go up to maybe 15.
Yeah, I remember when we talked to the gentleman over there, we were talking, it sounded perfect because we certainly don't need it 60 feet or whatever. But 15, if it got to like 15 feet, 10, 15 feet, that would be perfect for the deck, to kind of screen the deck from the sun.
Yes. Oh, that would be lovely.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Plus, the movement in the wind is so nice. It's really, and it's very pretty bamboo. It has this, when we think of them as canes, that's when it's dry. But as they're growing, that stalk is called a culm. And the culms on this bamboo are yellow, kind of like sort of a lemony-ish with a green stripe.
Yeah, they're nice. They're really nice.
And the leaves are narrow, but they're going to be quite abundant in growth. So it should be a very nice screen.
Nice.
And I think it's easy to grow. I
think it's easy.
It sounds like bamboo.
And I think it grows fast, right? It grows pretty fast.
I think it grows fast. It should. Some of the things that I read, some of the sources that I read said that I think that they're talking about in-ground planting, but it could reach its mature size in about 24 months.
Wow.
So that's really good.
Well, that was
ours
one thing.
Will probably grow a little differently because it's
in a
contained.
container. But that was the one thing that kind of attracted. Well, I liked it because I'm very impatient with the plants, but they, I want them to grow.
And it is growing.
It is growing. It's awesome, and I think it's going to look good, and I think it's going to provide, the shade. I mean, we're in Texas, and the summers are going to be 100 and whatever. It's,
it is the way it is.
It is going to be the way it is, but it will definitely provide some shade on the deck. So that's going to be nice. Yeah, it's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, they like to grow in full sun. They can grow in partial shade. So the amount of hours that I have learned that the amount of hours that's close to our deck does not allow most of our full sun plants to grow to their full potential, like the flowering plants and things like that. So this bamboo should fit in there very nicely. Like a crepe myrtle would not do very well in that position because it just doesn't get enough hours of daylight.
Mm-hmm.
But this plant should do very well there.
Good.
It likes to have moist soil, but
no wet feet.
No wet feet.
No wet feet.
But it does like consistently moist soil.
That's one of my favorites. No wet feet.
No wet feet. And let's see, what else can I tell you about it? It kind of grows in a vase-like shape. So it's sort of narrow at the bottom, but it'll fill out quite nicely over those 4 feet. It might fill 6 feet, which would be just perfect.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm actually pretty excited about it.
I am too.
I think it's
yeah.
I think it's probably the plant maybe like 6 feet now, maybe 6 feet.
I think so.
Somewhere around there.
I think it's actually put on a few inches since we planted it.
It may have, yeah. It was just cool. And this just, if we still have another little bit of time before the extreme heat hits, so maybe it'll put a few inches on and help us out a little bit for the summer. But no, that's cool. Very nice. I like it. It's good choice. Something we'd never had before.
Right now, the culms are small. They are smaller in diameter than my little finger. But I think that I understand about bamboo is as the plant ages, it sends up new culms. And during that time, they get larger and larger each year. And the culm will grow to its full height over the course of whatever year that is that it's growing. I think that's what I understand. I'll have to go back and do some more research about that, but we'll keep you updated on
absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
Car.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Very nice.
Well, cool.
So
one thing I wanted to do, we had a lot of fun last time.
We did.
On the last week's podcast talking. We had our son and our daughter-in-law, and we were talking about a little bit about how to use Thai basil in food and in a cocktail or a drink. And
a libation.
Yeah. And I thought it might be nice, maybe to add a little segment. And I'll have something that I can contribute since you're the plant person.
I am loving it.
And maybe, based on whatever we're talking about the plant, I can kind of kick in with either a little food or a little drink type thing. And this week, now I would not have thought that anybody makes anything out of bamboo, and they don't, not that I'm aware of. But there is a drink, there is a cocktail called the bamboo cocktail.
Oh, interesting.
And it's a very old recipe. I think it was invented by Louis Eppinger, who was he was a bartender in the Yokohama Grand Hotel. And he came up with this recipe back in around 1890.
Oh, wow.
So we're talking an old one. So it's not, I don't know. We don't, obviously we don't go out to a lot of places and drink, but I'm not sure if you walked into somewhere today and said, hey, I'd like a bamboo, if someone knows what you're talking about or not, because it's such an old recipe. But it is pretty cool. It was first written about in a famous book that was put out in 1908, The World's Drinks and How to Mix Them. And it was made by the Honorable William, in parentheses, Cocktail Boothby. And he was actually, the book is it was very popular in the time. So what he did is he put together a lot of the recipes during that time in the late 1800s and early 1900s, and took his book around to the bartenders and the people in all these places that mix drinks and had them look at it and review it and add to it. And it was very, very popular book at the time. And he wrote about the bamboo in there. They do credit Louis Eppinger with creating it. And they also, which is funny, is that it's actually in his book twice, which is, to me, is kind of a strange thing. So he's got it in there once as a bamboo, and it's just under a miscellaneous drink. And what he says, it's a well-known Japanese mixture, popular with steamship men and tourists who have visited the Orient.
That is interesting.
Which is kind of cool. And it's in there as a cocktail as well. It's called a bamboo cocktail. And so really what the recipe is something I don't think you see very often. So it's 1.5 ounces of sherry, which is a wine, a certain type of a wine that has to be from Spain. A region in Spain. So you use 1.5 ounce of sherry. You use 1.5 ounces of dry vermouth, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, 1 dash of orange bitters, and a little lemon twist. And it's a very dark drink, as you can imagine, because of the sherry. And sherry wine is just obviously it's still out there and people are still drinking, but it's just not something that for me at least, that I think of every day when I think of a wine or a cocktail. So it's a very unique drink. It was very cool kind of looking that up and seeing what that is. And we're definitely going to make one. We'll have to get the sherry. we're going to get the sherry and we're going to try one. And we'll get a little picture of that as well. But I did want to add that. So what I'd like to do going forward is try to, whatever plants that you're talking about, I'll see if I can come up with some kind of and I'm sure we'll lean on our son and our daughter-in-law to help us with the recipes and some of these things.
Absolutely.
But I thought it was very cool. So it's called the Bamboo. It was around 1890 when it came into existence. And I kind of encourage you guys to give it a try if you'd like. It actually looks really nice. It's kind of a...
I can't wait.
Yeah. It looks really good. It's got the little lemon twist on there, and that looks kind of cool. Kind of makes it a little fresh. So we'll give it a try and report back.
I think that photo needs to go on the blog.
I think so. I think we'll put that on the blog. We'll get a picture and give you a little taste test and kind of tell you what our thoughts are in that. So that was what I had for today. And I was very surprised that I found something called a bamboo.
It makes me think of the black and white movies that we love to watch.
Yes.
But there's one, it's a comedy. It's sort of a farce. It's called Arsenic and Old Lace.
Yeah,
and I can see the ladies having their little sherry. They
did. Sherry was a very popular drink. But like I said, now not like we're in the zone on that stuff these days, but you really don't hear sherry very much, to be honest with you. And I think you're right. You do hear a lot of it in the old movies that were out there. So is the bamboo. So we're going to give it a try. I would encourage you guys, if you're interested, to give it a try, or even just to look it up and kind of see. It's got a pretty cool little history on how it came to be, and there's a little information for you.
I applaud you.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
So that was my that was Jeff's segment. I don't know what we're going to call it. We'll come up with something. Jeff's thing, whatever.
I think it's excellent. I really do like it. We'll pull garden to table.
There you go, garden to table. Yeah. I really enjoyed having last week's. And I think it went real well with our listeners. I can tell that people really enjoyed, hearing a little bit about how you use the garden, and not just to look at, but, we had the potatoes that you talked about, and then the Thai basil and how you can use that in different things. So I like it.
So our garden really is partially during the day our entertainment, to be honest with you. It's kind of an ever-evolving screen of activity.
It is.
You could call it like that, but it draws you in, and it's a very fulfilling experience, very well-rounded, I should say. But
cool. Yeah, we certainly enjoy it.
We do.
All right.
Absolutely. There's so much to learn.
You're my learner, so I follow your lead.
Oh, yes, really? Will you follow my lead to next week, perhaps?
I will. And I was going to ask you, what are you looking forward to talking about next week?
Well, because we did want to include gardened table, I ran into an herb when I was reading the Texas Gardener magazine this month, and it's borage, I think. Anyways, I think we should choose that as our herb for next week and figure out how we use it in the garden, what it's good for. So that might be a really good challenge.
All right.
It sounds pretty interesting.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. And you said it was in the Texas...
the Texas Gardener magazine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. They have an article written for the May and June issue on borage.
Borage.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't sound very exciting, does it?
No, I've never heard of it. But
interesting. So it's going to be a good experience for both of us.
Okay. All right.
Challenge. It'll be a challenge.
Cool.
And also, because our neighbor was very kind and gave me the okra, and I'm interested in learning all I can about it, I was looking online and I ran into a book. It's called Okra, A Seed to Stem Celebration. The whole okra, and it's written by Chris Smith. And I would like to read that book and review it and find out what okra is all about.
Oh, okay, cool.
The history of it and what it's really good for. And maybe we'll come up with a dish or two.
Yeah.
Featuring okra.
Hey, okra, that might be a little easier than some to come up with, right?
Than some? Okay. Yeah. Are you backing away from a challenge?
No, I'm not. I think we're good. I'm gonna come up with a borage. I don't know what it is, but I'll have to figure it out. But it'll be interesting. Okay. That's the whole point. Learn something new. It's good to keep learning.
Yes, always.
Okay. What else you got?
Well, I wanted to say that there's some veggies and some flowers that you could definitely plant here coming up in May, and things that I'm interested in planting, and a little bit that I have planted, one of already, is cucumbers and summer squash. I'm ready to try out some summer squash.
Okay.
And I'll let you know how I go with all. I know that there are a lot of challenges with those two plants, and there's a borer, and maybe there's a squash bug. I don't know. We'll see how we get along.
Okay.
I'm going to deter them, I believe.
I bet I'm sure you will.
And on the flower front, it's time to start changing your flower beds from a cool season flower display to a warm season. So we want to be putting in marigolds. You want to put in Angelonia. Angelonia is a really good one for our heat and humidity. And Blackfoot daisy. I haven't really had a lot of luck with Blackfoot daisy. I think they like it pretty. I haven't quite got the watering correct on those, but Blackfoot daisy is listed. And, you always do sunflowers and Mexican sunflowers, and they're very good hot weather plants. So start changing, and marigolds. Mm-hmm. Marigolds do super well. If you plant in succession, like you plant seeds one week, and those plants begin to thrive as they age out, if you'll come back in like maybe every 2 weeks and put seeds in, you could have a fresh set of plants that can take over from the aged ones. Like your marigolds, they could get powdery mildew, and sometimes you just need to take them out, but you could have fresh new plantlets coming along behind them.
No, great idea.
That would be my tip of the week.
Okay. I like it. All right.
So, yeah.
Well, sounds like you're going to be busy.
I was just going to say the same thing. Sounds like we're going to be pretty busy.
We are. And, one thing I did want to say, I know our neighbor gave us the okra plants, and I think, we're past the point of having little kids at home anymore, so we don't have that. But it's been great because our neighbors are out gardening, and we're gardening, and it's been a really good way for us just to be able to kind of get to know them a little more. interact with them. And because the neighbors on all sides of us actually have been kind of doing, some
Yes.
gardening. And I know they like to, you like to talk to them. They like to ask you for stuff and so forth. But it's been really cool to be able to kind of build a little bit of a community, which,
It is.
I know everybody's running these days, but it's kind of nice to be able just to stop in the backyard and kind of get away and talk to your neighbors.
Whenever we're out front, it is really nice when the neighbors pull up in the car and just chat for a second.
It is. It's a great little community. And I think the gardening, honestly, I think that's one of the central things that's been able to kind of help us get to know our neighbors here as well.
Yes.
So just wanted to throw that out there.
Very neighborly.
Yeah, we're really. All right. So one thing I would ask, we've been doing this for a little while now, and if you like the podcast, we would appreciate it if you would go ahead and give us some ratings out there and hit the like and ratings buttons. We appreciate that you guys are sticking with us on this. We're having a lot of fun, and I think we're bringing you guys some information, hopefully. Like the bamboo drink. So, we want to keep doing it. It's interesting for us. It's stuff that we can keep learning as well. So it's kind of a win-win for us to be able to get on and talk about it as well. So, Mary, is there anything else you have?
I just am very grateful. This has been a wonderful experience. And if you had asked me last year if I would be working on a podcast, I would have probably laughed.
Yeah, no, it's definitely.
It's been great.
It has been awesome.
I love learning about it. Thank you all so much.
Yes, thank you guys. And we hope to see you next week when we talk about some of these other items. We're going to talk borage, maybe a little okra, and who knows what else. So we'll keep you in suspense for the rest of it. Okay.
Very nice.
Hey, thank you guys again, and we will see you next time at MaryBird's Backyard Garden.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.